Welcome to our first Day One speaker series. I'll begin by turning it over to Mr. Cavodi.
200 years ago, on September 13th, the British were bombarding Fort McHenry in the Baltimore Harbor. A large American flag, 30 feet by 42 feet, with 15 stars and 15 stripes, flew over the fort. As night fell, rain and smoke from the cannons obscured the fate of the Americans. The following morning, from a boat in the harbor, Francis Scott Key, a Georgetown lawyer, observed by the dawn's early light that our flag was still there. In the next 2 days, he was inspired to write a 4-stanza poem entitled Defense of Fort McHenry. This poem fit the tune of a very popular song of the day, To Anacreon in Heaven. This was the theme song of a London gentlemen's society devoted to good food, good drink, and good music. Anacreon was a Greek god of wine, women, and song, and his tune was known throughout the English-speaking world. Today, the chamber singers will first perform a verse of the original song, To Anacreon in Heaven, and then follow that with the 4th verse of what has become the Star-Spangled Banner. As many of you know, the actual flag that Francis Scott Key witnessed on September 14th, 200 years ago, has been preserved and restored in the Smithsonian Museum of American History on the Mall in Washington, D.C.
Thank you to Mr. Cavodi and all of our wonderful musicians, including our speaker for today. When Mr. Body provided me with the list of the speakers for this year, I was delighted to see the name of Parker Smith on it. Though I had never taught or coached Parker, he's one of those guys you just get to know in the hallways. Always respectful, friendly, courteous, just truly a wonderful guy. I asked your student council president, Matt Wellington, who on the list should be our first speaker, and he did not hesitate. He immediately said Parker Smith. Parker, that's quite an endorsement. Last school year, the Landon News in a headline posed a fair question. It read, "Can 18-year-olds truly be expected to offer life advice?" And it asked the question whether we should have students addressing all of you at these ethics seminars. And I would respectfully answer, yes, we should, and emphatically answer, yes, we should. We can always learn something new from others, whether they are 8 years old, 18, or 88. I know I do every day. And so let's open our eyes, our ears, and our minds and learn something new from Parker. Please join me in extending a warm welcome to Parker.
Morning, guys. I'd like to start off my speech by thanking both Mr. Body and Mr. Balashi and Matt for giving me this opportunity to speak today. I'm honored to be the first ethics speaker this year, and I hope I can deliver a meaningful message to you all. I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about my time before Landon and the transition into high school that came with it. My time before the White Rocks was spent at a little school in DC called St. Patrick's. I was there from nursery school till 8th grade, and at the time, it would have been hard to picture myself anywhere else. There were only about 50 kids, and when 7th grade hit, there was about 30 kids. Sports were by no means a strong suit of St. Pat's, and in a co-ed environment, there was more drama than you would like in a school. As you can see, St. Pat's had a totally different environment than Landon's, but I would say the main difference is that there was very little room to branch out and try new things. Each year was essentially the same. You just felt a little bit older. My time at St. Pat's was great for me, but by the time 8th grade came around, I knew for sure that I needed a change, a fresh start. During that 8th grade year, with high school overshadowing me, I didn't have much of an idea where I wanted to go. I looked at many schools, such as St. Albans, Murray, Woodbury, Bullis. Even Potomac seemed like a pretty good fit for me, but there was just one minor problem. I was not accepted. In the end, there was one obvious choice, and that was to become a Bear. I guess what initially drew me to Landon was the abundance of St. Patrick's alumni we have from my grade in the audience today. Let's name some, shall we? Colton Rupp, Walker Haig, Big Deke, Ray Close, Christian Hill, Stone Dryer, Landon McKenzie, and of course, Will Gibson. It's hard to stay away from a school with that lineup. The most important thing is I was able to witness the changes each of these guys went through as they experienced Landon. Each boy was slowly turning into a man of character and respect. The point is, I was envious of these guys and desperately wanted to expose myself to the same environment they so enjoyably took part in every day. These guys and what they represented were instrumental in my decision to come to Landon, and for that, I thank you. In the end, what really put Landon ahead of the other schools was simply driving on campus for my visit. We all take this experience for granted every day, and that day as I drove by field after field, rock after rock, I was taken by it. The sheer beauty of the campus had me hypnotized. As I entered the BAC that day for my tour, I felt this strange new feeling of comfort that had not been felt at St. Patrick's. There was camaraderie and brotherhood that I'd never experienced before. At St. Pat's, I didn't know what I was missing. I guess to summarize the way I felt that day, I would say that when I'm at Landon, there's no place I'd rather be. No place I'd rather be. As my time at Landon has progressed, there's one major element that has hit me. It's the amount of opportunity that is presented to everyone here that was missing at St. Patrick's. Year after year, there wasn't much room to try something new. My high school experience has been the exact opposite. Every school meeting, there are new opportunities to branch out, options to pursue. I like to think that during my time here, I've done my best to do everything I could. Whether it's singing in the baritones or performing in musicals, I've tried to make my Landon experience a fulfilled one. One anomaly that sticks out to me when I look at the opportunities I have followed through with is wrestling last year. My overpowering 0-12 record would shed some light on how that winter went, but nonetheless, I'm glad I made the choice. It introduced me to new people and gave me new memories. The thing about wrestling is that it pushes you to the limit. It forces you to work harder than you ever have before. I now have a new respect for the sport, and it's a respect I wouldn't have had if I didn't just man up and try it. I did actually win a bronze medal in a wrestling tournament. Granted, during the tournament, my group only had 3 total people in it, so that bronze medal was simply a reward for getting pinned every time, but I'll take it. It wouldn't be fitting for me to give a speech without using at least one movie quote. So, in terms of trying new things, I believe Ron Burgundy said it best when he said, "Milk was a bad choice." Even though drinking 2% milk on a hot San Diego day is a pretty poor life choice, in the end, Mr. Burgundy tried something new and didn't shy away from the opportunity to get out of his comfort zone. It's fitting that our senior class motto this year is all in, because that's exactly the message I'm trying to deliver to you today. Go all in. Reach out of your comfort zone, as Mr. Burgundy did, and squeeze every drop out of Landon as you can. The last thing you want to do is look back on your time here and say, wow, I should have done more. I should have tried that thing. After spending the best 4 years of my life here, I can tell you from experience how fast time flies. 1 second, you're being amazed during the Sorkin geometry experience, and the next, you're listening to Mr. Batusky tell you about his ingenious idea for a candied apple stand and what may or may not have happened in Egypt. The point is, go all in, and I can assure you that your Landon experience will be truly fulfilled. I also want to take a second to thank all of you, my fellow Bears. You're all my brothers, and I can't imagine Landon without any of you. All in and go Bears. Thank you.
Thank you for your time and attention. We are dismissed.